Good morning, lovely people. How are you all doing today? I hope you are well. I am. My second day waking up in Dorset. Oh, lovely. More seagulls. The sun's come out today. I've been keeping quite a close eye on the weather forecast in order to plan my days and what I'm getting up to. Yeah, lovely. Can't wait to get going today. So hopefully it's Saturday today, I think. So things may be a bit busier. Filming may be a bit trickier, but I'm hoping to take you to another one of me and my sister's special places. And basically over a couple of days I'm taking her around all our... Oh, I'm going to get weepy suddenly. No, I'm not, I'm fine. I'm just taking her around all our favourite places before the final act of scattering her to the winds. So yeah, another favourite place this morning, and hopefully a little bit of history and stuff along the way. I love my history. Plus, an update on how the recce is going. So I've been doing a lot of research while I've been here in terms of, can I live here? Some really important things on my checklist. So yeah, without further ado, let's get our backpacks. Mine's kind of over there waiting for you to properly pack it. Let's pack some sandwiches. Let's pack a bottle of water, a hoodie. That's the thing about being near the coast, isn't it? The wind can pick up and suddenly you feel like, ooh, it's a bit chilly. So pack a hoodie. We don't need a brolly today. Hooray! On that note, come on, let's skedaddle and see what we can get our noses into today. Oh, how beautiful it looks today in the sunshine. Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty sunshine. Gorgeous. Oh, I can't wait for a swim. Not right at the minute though, because can you see in the distance? Once again, we can, let me see if I can show you. You can see the, oh, sorry, that was way too fast.
Unless it falls below.
You can see the Isle of Wight again. There's a local joke. If you can see the Isle of Wight, it's going to rain tomorrow. If you can't see the Isle of Wight, it's raining today. Oh, and just to point out, just beyond, so this is Ballard Down and that's Handfast Point. I don't know if you can make out on the horizon, a ways over there, that's Bournemouth. Glad I'm not over there because it's much busier, much more rowdy. The lovely thing about Swanage is it has pretty much stayed in the 50s. There are quite a lot of people around today though, so I'll have to be a bit circumspect. So we're going to head over there. But just before we do, I want to show you this little parade of... Oh, so pretty, isn't it? So Victorian. It's all sort of guest houses and hotels. And do you remember I was telling you about my summer job? I'm not going to swing back around, but it's behind my shoulder now. But when I had my summer job working in the Grand Hotel, well, my aunt, my mum's sister, she had her first summer job in one of these hotels. I think she was about, gosh, she was probably only 18 or so, so probably same sort of age as me. So that would have been, when was she born? 48, 58, so early 1960s. So yeah, it runs in the family. We come down here, we take on a summer job and we stay with Grandma and Grandad. How lovely. But yes, so we're heading right over there towards Peveril Point. You can see the pier there. The pier, do you know what, I tell you what, because we're so far away still, I'll talk about that as we get nearer to it. So it's a long walk for my cronky old knees, so let's get it underway and have a few pit stops along the way maybe. Okay, so our first little history pit stop. There's the sea. You can just about make out. Can you see? Let's point. These iron rails. These are the rails that the trucks would come down on, laden with our beautiful. You see, I just said our. I'm taking ownership. Fabulous Purbeck stone and Purbeck marble. So they'd come along on these rails. There's another set joining them from this direction to bring them down to the harbour for shipment to London. The Purbeck stone and Purbeck marble quarrying industry is, gosh, well, I think the first written record of it is from something like 800, so it's over 1,000 years old. It massively, can't get my words right. There was a huge flurry for Purbeck stone after the Great Fire of London. The quarryman must have been delighted. So it goes on and on down to the harbour side. This little bit of jetty here, oh, and it still is sometimes. Surprised no one's doing it today. This was always a favourite haunt for doing a bit of crabbing. You can't come to the English seaside without doing a bit of crabbing, can you? Sit on the side of the wall with a nylon line, bit of bait on the end, and hopefully catch a crab for your supper. And if you only catch one crab, then there's fights over who gets to have the claws afterwards to put on the ends of our fingers to try and snap each other. I'm sure my sister got the claws more often than me, and I'm sure she snapped me more often than I snapped at her. But yeah, favourite crabbing spot. So on we go. Oh, someone's out for a swim. Oh, I can't wait. Someone else paddle boarding. And there you can see the pier. I've always loved this end of Swanage. It's the more it's the working end, which we'll see more of the further along we go. I also love just turning back that way. I love that end where my grandparents were, where all the properties stop. It just feels sort of much more wild. I mean, I love the beach bit, the sandy beach bit. That's gorgeous too, especially when you're a kid. But as an adult, yeah, I much prefer that end, the wildness, and this end, the working end. And I just had my first real lungful of the smell of seaweed. Oh, delicious. Gosh, it is so busy. Right, well, it's Saturday, isn't it? Let's see if we can find a slightly quieter spot. I just noticed this sign. You see what it says? Learn to row with the Swanage Sea Rowing Club. And also just noticed they're letting out. Can you see? Now I can't remember what these sea rowing boats are called. Is it a skiff? Rig? I can't remember. I've watched enough programmes about them doing it down in Cornwall and how they love having their races against Devon. No, I don't think I could row purely because of the backwards and forwards bending of the knees. But, you know, it's something certainly to get involved with in terms of as a spectator. Yeah, that's another thing to tick on the list of things to do if one lived here. My slight disappointment at this end is this big place here, restaurant, and I presume holiday lets above. This used to be a whole series of wooden shacks, and it was where the surf club was, where the wetsuit shops were. Yeah, progress. Giving you a different view of the bay now. I've climbed a little ways, slightly huffy and puffy, so just to orientate you, Grand Hotel over there, and Those first shots of the beach when I arrived were taken there. And we've come around, that's all where all the tram lines are, down there. Wending our way. Oh, yeah, best part of town. This area has changed a bit too. Well, this bit hasn't. This is Swanage Yacht Club. Let's walk and talk if I can. This path, okay, so to start with, this here used to be a stonking massive hotel, a really posh hotel called the Grosvenor. I don't know when it went out of use, but I always remember it as closed from a kid, so gosh, that's got to be the 70s, early 70s. So this walk I'm on now, this looks, well, first of all, it's a proper path. This is newer too. When I say newer, it might have been the 80s. I can't remember when it changed this, because the walk used to take us around the bottom. Oh, maybe we're going to go down now. But should we have a look at let's go and look at the boats. You know, I just crossed paths with someone coming down with, he had his wetsuit, the top half of his wetsuit off and dangling around his hips. And he was all tanned and his hair a bit bleached from the salt. And I don't mean any of this in a thwart way, just that sort of like, yes, you're my kind of people who are brown from sun and sea and salt. I don't know, just the sight of people looking lean and healthy because of a life of playing on the sea. It's very attractive. So you can see the remains of a very, very, very old pier. It was already dilapidated when the new pier, I think the Victorians built the new pier, and you used to be able to get a steamer ship from here. Actually, I think they still do some boat day trips from here, either over to Poole or Weymouth, but you used to be able to go to France from here. Not anymore. And now beyond it, right in the distance, you remember I was saying there's Bournemouth. Well, do you see, let me see, just bring you in a bit closer. I'll get a better shot in a second if I go around the corner a bit. So the end of this cliff here, Handfast Point is what I've been showing you, but now you can see the white cliffs beyond are being revealed, and beyond there the chalk stacks known as Old Harry's Rocks. And there used to be an Old Harry's wife, but well, she fell into the sea decades ago. Let me see if I can get you a better shot. Hang on a tick. I'm an idiot and a nincompoop. That's the path I was on a second ago, and I've swapped. I'm taking the higher path because stupidly I was forgetting that it's high tide, and the path I wanted to take is almost underwater. So I'll just show you down here. You see the path down there. This is going to be really clunky, hold on. That was where I was going to walk, down and around. However, and you know what, years ago I'd have done it, I'd have scrambled around, but I just don't trust the old knee bones. So I'm taking the higher path. I'm being high and mighty, and then as I come around, I love the sound of the rigging slapping against the masts. Let's see, where can I put you? Maybe another couple of feet this way. Get you between these two masts. So that, ooh, crikey, sorry. There we go. You see the chalk stacks sticking out. If you continue around to the left from there, we get to another little spot that's a favourite for me and my sister, and that's where I should be going tomorrow. But for today I'm here. So she made her wishes known about scattering her ashes. Well, in my will, my wishes are known, and I've asked for my ashes to be scattered on that rock that sticks out. Awkward. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. So lovely and quiet up here. Yes, I've come quite a ways from Swanage over there. I'm still in Swanage, but a ways round. And I've come this top route to get to where I want to go. I'm just now coming through the boat park. But it occurs to me, actually, the tide will be going out. I think it's at its highest now. So I'm going to hang around here for a bit anyway. I'm going to have a little bite to eat. I've got my picnic lunch with me. And by the time I've finished, hopefully I can get around on the bottom path. I really want to go on the bottom path. Oh, did you hear the train whistle? It's such a still day, the sounds are carrying. Now, the reason I'm standing here pointing at, this is the Wellington Tower. It used to live in London. And this was one of the bits of history I forgot to mention when I was showing you earlier, the iron rails, the tracks for bringing the stone down to the harbour. Oh, wasp in my face. There's lots of bits of London in Swanage. I talked about it briefly once before and how actually it's like London by the sea. It's calling me. So, for instance, you'll see a lot of iron bollards in the streets, and you'll see this sort of little plaque on them that says City of London. Yeah, I remember I showed you the town hall the other day when I was in the going up the high street in the old part of town. The whole facade of the town hall came from London. Basically, the boats that come from London around and in here to collect all the beautiful Purbeck stone, they would come with bits of London, like the tower, like the bollards. They would come with those bits in the boat, in the ships, as ballast, dump it in Swanage, collect their precious cargo of Portland stone, and head off back to London with it. So yeah, lots of, if you're ever visiting in Swanage, you can play Spot London while you're here. Ow, my legs are suddenly killing me. But one of the reasons I've come to this end, apart from the fact that it's pretty much one of my favourite ends of Swanage, it's, you know, it's business-like. I like that is, can you see the little flag fluttering? The lifeboat house. But this is a steep path to get down, so I'm going to turn you off for now. You can probably see why I love this end of Swanage. It's the business end. Lobster pots are stacked up here and on the jetty, drying. This geezer in his truck is just back down the slipway to get his jet ski into the water. The lads have been mucking around, diving in and out, squealing. One of the best sounds in the world, isn't it? Yeah, there's a few folk around. I think maybe having a post-lunch perambulation. We're on part of the, this is the southwest coastal path. Beautiful, beautiful day. Oh, drip dry. Right, let's go and have a squiz at the lifeboat jetty. Noises in the background, someone's winching. So this is Swanage Lifeboat House. It's rather splendid. This is actually the new lifeboat house. It was rebuilt about 8-10 years ago. So the lifeboat is in there, but they've got, oh, I think they're closed, but they've got some sort of visitor staff, and it looks like you can maybe have a cup of tea in there. It's dead swanky, isn't it? So, oops, that's gentleman pass. So there's been a lifeboat station here, 150 odd years, and then, just let some more folk pass. So, top of the building, bottom of the building, but the lifeboat sits up here, and it sits up here because when the call goes out, I'm going to get on the beach in a second to show you. When the call goes out and the shutters go up, you can see there's a gap here, and then there's the slipway. So it shoots out of the building, down the slipway, down the slipway, down the slipway, with a great big splush out to sea. It's a big lifeboat. What class? I'll go and look on the posting so I can find out what class, for any of you who are lifeboat or boat nerds. I've got a tea towel at home with all the lifeboat stations around the country and all the different classes of boats, but it's one of the big solid ones. It's not one of the ribs. Gosh, the number of times we've been down here and the lifeboat is launched, and of course when you're a kid it's so exciting, but of course every launch means that someone's in trouble, and I always donate to the lifeboat, to the RNLI, because let's face it, I live on an island. I love being by the sea, I love playing in the sea, and anybody who's ever either near the sea or on the sea, we all need to be aware. Oh, it's a Shannon class. We all need to be aware of the fact that one day we may need rescuing. So it's a Shannon class boat. It's a biggie. There's a picture of it inside. I wonder if we can. Oh, that we can have a little peek through the window. So all the way to the top again, and then there's the beauty. Can we see? So we're looking at the hole there. Let me see if I can shade it, and then you can. Where is there a shadow? I need a shadow to show you. Let's come along a bit. Let's see if I can do it from this way around. Look, there's me. Hello. Is it going to work? No, is that worse? You can just about make it out. So yeah, you can see. Can you see here? See this like yellow girder. This is the slipway that's within the house. You see the sort of the drums that roll around. Oh, it's not open. I wish I could. I really want to get in there and show you. I'm also being mindful that if a shout goes up right now, I need to get out of the way. So some of you may know, some of you from overseas may not know, that all our lifeboat personnel, they are all volunteers. And I do remember one particular occasion. I was in town, I was in the bank with Grandma, and we heard the flare and the bang. There's a sort of a flare gets sent up, and there's a big bang, and it's very distinct. And suddenly the gentleman behind the counter who was serving us stopped in the middle of what he was doing, shut the window and dashed out of the bank and legged it down the high street because he was a crew member. Bravo, bravo all of them. So these are the very last properties in Swanage at this end on Peveril Point. And oh, goodness me, I have romantic notions of, oh, how marvellous to live here. I'd have this on your doorstep and this as the view. But as we've seen this morning already, it's all rather steep, and it's got to be a good 1.5 miles from the nearest shops. So yeah, for someone who doesn't drive and who's a bit wobbly of knee, no, this is not the best spot to live. I'd love to live alongside the lifeboat house though. Right, well I hope my sis has enjoyed this bit. I definitely now need to park my backside for a minute and rest my legs, but isn't that just the most beautiful view you ever did see? It makes my heart sing, makes my eyes get damp. I've just had a really lovely chat with a local woman and man. So from that last shot when I was saying, oh, wouldn't it be nice to live there, I'm still in that locale. I've literally just been sitting here just having quiet time, and it was pretty obvious pretty quickly that this whole row of houses that used to be, you know, it was fishermen. I know one of the lifeboat people used to live here. They're all holiday lets. It's happening everywhere. I'm not going to go on one because I really could rant about second home ownership and all that. But anyway, just trying to have a quiet moment, and the next thing I can hear zzz, buzzing. The next thing, there's a drone over my head, and a whole gang of people appeared, and they were being really noisy. And I thought, oh, I've come to this part of town for a bit of quiet, a bit of contemplation. And it was that reminder to me, you know, I'm talking about doing this as a recce for someone to live. It was that reminder to me of, if you live in a seaside town, if you live in a tourist town, you've got to take the rough with the smooth. You have to accept the visitors, because their money is what keeps the town alive. You just have to work on finding secret places. Anyway, as I was just sat here, a man and woman came out of one of the cottages. I just said, afternoon. We got chatting, and they're cleaners. They were in to clean it after one lot of guests have gone. They've cleaned it up before the next lot come in. Anyway, we got chatting, and I was talking about Grandma and Grandad and where they lived there, and Langton, and I don't know, we were just chatting, chewing the fat. And then I was mentioning my hunt and the needs in terms of, you know, the flat, the ground floor, all that kind of stuff. And she said, oh, 'cause she's a cleaner, she knows a lot of the local properties. She said, honestly, she should have retired by now. Lovely woman, long hair, but grey. Yeah, she really should have retired by now. Anyway, she was telling me about a flat. She knows the family. It was an older person. They've left the flat, gone into care, and they've sadly died. So the family have decided to put her property on the market, and it's a ground floor flat, and it's on Demulham Road, which is a fairly flat road, and it's quite near into town and the shops. So yeah, I might go and have a little look. Don't know if she doesn't know if it's on the market yet, because she was saying the funeral's next week. Oh my goodness. But you know, that's life, isn't it? And that's homes. Is, you know, Auntie Teapot died at home, but that home hopefully will be bought, and we a young family move in, and life starts again, and new life and new memories, etc., etc. So anyway, it was just really nice chatting. And it's sort of also that reminder, I'm going to get all weepy again, I'm a bit emotional today, but it's that reminder to myself that I get on with everyone and anyone, you know, because one of the things I was worried about coming here is like, oh my God, I'm moving away from all my friends, what am I doing? But actually so many of my friends have left London already. And you know what? Yeah, I'm a chatterbox, and I suppose you might, it's a sort of a confidence thing as well, that I'll happily strike up a conversation with a stranger. I'm not saying that stranger then becomes, you know, best buddies for life, but yeah, I can always find someone to talk to. Now, talking to people, doing my recce, I've made a list and I've left it at home. I was going to talk about that today. I might even end up talking about it back in London. But one of the things was bookshops. There's a bookshop in Swanage. I should say as well, I checked out all the charity shops. Now, I didn't check any of them out for clothing. That might be okay. But all of them, I looked at them for their books. Rubbish, absolute rubbish. Like real romance novels and crime fiction, and just not anything that interests me. Holiday reading, you know. Anyway, so that was a bit like, where am I going to get a book from? Where am I going to get my books from? Of course, there's the library. But then I popped into the bookshop. So there's quite a big selection of second hand, and then a smaller section on new books, and the whole section for the new books I got chatting to the owner. Of course I did. That's what I mean about chatting. So Jill in the Swanage bookshop, she's lovely, and I was saying how she got a whole section, a display, and it's all my kind of stuff. It's all the sort of natural history and ecology, green stuff. So if you think about all those, I've just got pins and needles in my leg. Things like James Rebank's English Pastoral, the Macfarlane books, the Walk, my brain's gone mush. The John Lewis Stemple, Meadowland and Cockshut Wood that I read earlier this year. So it's all. So I was looking at her display and I said, it's gorgeous. It's completely my kind of thing. I said, unfortunately, I've read pretty much everything on your shelf. And also, when I'd gone in, my knees were killing me. So I said, I'm going to have to come back another time. I said, unless you've got a stool I can sit on. She found a stool for me. But anyway, yeah, so that's a big tick. And I was joking to her, saying about I'm having to weigh up the pros and cons of moving here rather than just continuing to visit over the years. And I said, on my list, bookshop, I said, so now there's a big tick in the box next to bookshop, preferably with second hand as well as new, because new books are expensive, aren't they? So yeah, I feel very at peace today. I feel at peace with what I'm doing for my sister. I feel at peace just being here. London and work and worries, it just seems a million miles away. Now, in fairness, the sun is shining, I've got the warmth of it on my neck, I'm sitting here by the sea. Of course it's going to feel wonderful on a day like today, isn't it? But I have to keep reminding myself, okay, this is sort of holiday. If I lived here, I'm not going to be able to just sit and do nothing and look at the sea all day, but maybe I would. Maybe that's the thing, isn't it? Is to say, maybe I need to start factoring in more time to just sit and look at the sea. It's Saturday today. It should be a day off, shouldn't it? God, it's gorgeous. Have I said it's gorgeous enough? Have I encouraged some of you to come to Swanage? Now, I absolutely know for a fact that there's a load of you who know Swanage, who've been here at least once or twice in your life, who will know all those footsteps I've taken this morning to get here. I hope you've enjoyed seeing it again through my eyes, through my lens. Swanage seems to have some sort of hypnotic effect on people. I'll come to that point in a second, but yesterday when I was at the mill pond and that lady, what was it, Jill and Tasha, I've forgotten their names already, she must have been a little bit older than me, I'd say maybe 60, just into her 60s, and her daughter was about 25 or so. And we got chatting, and I said, are you visiting? Are you visitors? What have you? And talking to the mum, the woman sort of my age, a little bit older, it turns out she's been coming for years. She first came as a child, so of course now she's brought her daughter, and I bet my bottom dollar, when her daughter has children, she'll bring them too. It seems to be the way. Over the years, I've met so many people who were first brought here as a child, fell in love and kept coming back. So yeah, I was saying that I think it has this hypnotic effect on people. And I think it's partly because it's kind of old-fashioned. It's traditional. It's in a bit of a time warp. It's a bit, the 50s and 60s still. It is very much, as I was saying as we started this morning, it's very much bucket and spades, crabbing, swimming, rock pooling. There's one amusement arcade, with the slot machines and that kind of thing. But otherwise, there aren't really many concessions to sort of more modern entertainment. You can still buy your sticks of rock and your fudge, and there are ice cream parlours, and there's a Wimpy. I don't think there's a McDonald's. Woo! So there's a little Wimpy cafe. Yeah, it's in a bit of a time warp. That's not to say there aren't modern facilities for us, you know, loos and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's an attitude here, and it's foot off the gas, go slower, enjoy the old-fashioned pleasures. I'm saying this, and out the corner of my eye I can see there's a jet ski is about to fire up. So yeah, there are jet skis, there are modern things, but otherwise, turn your gadgets off, turn your phone off, come to Swanage and just enjoy a day at the seaside, paddling, swimming, eating sandwiches that have got sand in them. Did you hear the whistle? Get on a steam train. Oh, right. I can't think what's next on the list today. I'll have a think and I'll catch up with you a little bit later. For now, I'm just going to carry on sitting and, apart from that jet ski, enjoying this quiet and the smell of seaweed. Deep breaths in, everyone. Get a good lungful. I'm still here. I can't bear to tear myself away, and I realise I've already been chatting for quite a while. So what I'm going to do is say cheerio for now. That's it for this video. Oh gosh, I should have. Can you see them? They're getting in. They're in wetsuits, chickens. Yeah, I'm going to stay here for now. Therefore, say cheerio to all of you. Catch you up somewhere else at a different time. I don't know what, I don't know when, but shortly. So until then, please look after yourselves, and if you can, just stop and stare at sea. Oh, do it. And the smell. Yeah. Bliss. Cheerio.